So welcome. I had to. I can't not do this live. There's a group of women that have that they do a live apparently, and they get like, I don't know, 1,000 people on their live for hours and hours and hours, and they'll make comments on, "We don't need you." So it's female rage bait against the women, against the men. And it's insane because what they're doing is attracting red pillars, right? And so they do this live. They get tapped on the screen, and they're basically wanting to just rage bait, kind of like men rage baiting women. You know that women should look a certain way, and I only date 18 to 23-year-olds. That kind of shit, rage bait. And so these women have 800 people right now in the live. You can actually scroll, you'll find it. Rage baiting, saying, "We don't need you. We don't need men. Ask us why." And the first thing they want you to say, right, is your pronouns. Now, for many of us, I don't know how you feel about it. You're probably not going to like me after this, but I don't give a fuck about pronouns. It doesn't tell me that you're a good person. What tells me you're a good person is you're willing to actually understand people. You're not rage baiting just for the fuck of it. So female rage bait is no different than male rage bait. Andrew Tate was a perfect example of rage bait when he would have these quasi-date scenarios and pretty much make whoever was, dating him. I don't know if you ever saw those footages of him dating some of these women, and the way he baited them, the way he treated them, the way he spoke to them. I don't care which gender you are. If you're rage baiting the opposite gender just to get likes, you're a piece of shit. You're a fucking piece of shit. You're part of the problem. You're playing into the 1%'s hands. You're their dog. You're their lackey, their dog. You're playing right into the game of divide and conquer. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're doing it as a man. I don't care if you're doing it as a woman. If you're rage baiting to just because you haven't been laid in fucking dog years, then that's on you. Because what's interesting is that the people who do this don't look like they've ever been made love to. And because they know they're not lovable, because they're so fucking angry. And see, now that's anger. That's toxic rage that divides and conquers, and you guys are the dogs of the 1% when you play that game. You're just their dog. Do you want to sit up and roll over for me? Because you might as well, because you listen to the higher ups. And apparently anybody can control you. So we live in a very interesting time. We live in a time where we have Bonnie Blue and Lily Phillips. And we live in a time when women are being forced to do OnlyFans because they can't get a job out of college. They've got their master's or PhD in psychology or law, and they can't fucking get arrested if they tried. But the minute they take off their clothes, they're making, something like $250,000 to $2.1 million per month. And I know that there's a definite imbalance with the masculine root chakra being, led by its nose. But this rage baiting of women I don't need men. I don't need, no, you know what I need? I don't need men that are fucking idiots. Just like I don't need women that are idiots. You know what I need? I need people who are actually consciously working on their ascension. Consciously aware that something went wrong in their childhood. Consciously aware that reincarnation is no longer a question to kick around like rocks. I'm still shocked. And again, those of you who believe in reincarnation, don't take it for granted. It's a big fucking deal to actually believe in it, and to know why you're believing in it, and to know why you're female, why you're a male in this incarnation. That's a big fucking deal. It's not a small thing. But I was seeing these guys, these young men. My son would have my son would have made it the 2 minutes, because the minute you refuse to say your pronouns, and they were forcing pronouns. What do you want, my papers? Should I do it in a German accent? What the fuck's wrong with you? Do you want to talk to me, or do you want to castrate me? You're no better than you're no better than the people who victimized you. It's funny how bullies become the bullies, and the pedos become the pedo victims. And yet many of us have gone through much of these same experiences, and we've developed empathy, generosity, kindness, patience, tolerance. Honestly, stay clear of people that are going to lower your energy. I was watching them for a while, just watching, and this constant, what would I call it, 1984 process of of controlling how you're going to introduce yourself. What's your age? What's your pronouns? That's sick. Anybody fucking even catering to these two monsters, it's sick. And whenever people keep saying Handmaid's Tale, Handmaid's Tale, Handmaid's Tale, great. Did you see how many women were controlling other women, subjugating other women? See, the problem isn't gender so much as it's the way we have been told that some women, all women, are better than most men, all men. And that's not true. It's not true at all. And what scares the fuck out of me, and I'm just going to be straight up, is that there are a lot of women, a lot more women should not be, who are enraged as men, who hate men. Just please be honest with you. Please don't have children. Just don't do it. Just go get yourself fixed. I'm not joking. Just call it a day. Because if you hate men that much, then you're going to raise destroyed boys into men. You're going to be the reason why we have problems with men. In fact, many women who are fucked up are the reasons why we have these crazy fucking men. Just like we'll have broken, crazy, rabid women. It's not just fathers being absent, betraying, don't know how to fucking nurture, all of that. It's women who are so angry. It's kind of like me wanting a beautiful vegan meal, going to McDonald's. You choose fast food bullshit, and then you get angry because you're not nutritionally fed. You don't feel filled. You don't feel well. You have headaches after a crappy fast food meal, and you're a vegan or a vegetarian, and you're shocked. You're so quick, women, men, to get angry, to get played by, for all you know, psyops, who come out of think tanks, who figure, how do we control 8 billion people? No, hang on. How do we control 332 million people? How do we do that without much effort? Well, divide and conquer has always worked. Oh, that's a good idea. What should we do? Oh, gender. Just do it's always gender. It's always been gender. Do gender, then do race, then do religion. Let's just keep it going. You know what? With social media, it should be easier than it's ever been before. I mean, fuck, I don't know how our forefathers and those think tanks did it 100 years ago. But with social media, we can just hire people, put them on the payroll, and they'll just crank the bullshit out. Brilliant idea. Please learn when you're being played. Because you're being played. And the level of, it's almost like a macabre carnival to go through TikTok sometimes, let's be honest. It's like a joke. And what's sad is that these young men are trying to prove their worth to angry females who hate men, always have, you could tell. Because, a lot of us have hated men at some point. Trust me. We've all gone through it. Trust me. Of course. I mean, you can't be a female and not at some point hate a man. And you can't be a male and at some point not, be disgusted by by females. But eventually, as you go through your spiritual awakening, and you start doing some work and you start meeting people that are really beautiful and you realize, oh my God, it doesn't matter the gender. Just when people are assholes, it's non-gender specific to be an asshole. Oh, and then you have like a light bulb moment of realizing that it's not about gender. It's about compassion. It's about listening actively to understand a human being. It's very similar to understanding, when somebody out of Cambodia or out of Ghana, Africa, or out of a reservation in this country, or should I go on with the list? And you're listening to their experiences, their point of view, to better understand them. Why? Because it's worth understanding people's who have different points of view and experiences. And just because you haven't gone through it doesn't mean that their reality isn't valid or true. And it's interesting how when pure evil is in front of us, we all agree, oh, that's fucking evil. There's no country where I can put together a hot dog bun and put a lab of poop. And no one in the country would say, in the world would say, oh yeah, this is great stuff. No, there's certain things we all agree on. Evil, inedible, cruel. So because we agree on certain things that we all collectively prefer over other things, right? To actually have the experience and the opportunity to speak to someone from another country, another gender, about their experience is a gift. And what I find interesting is that these rage bait chicks and dudes are getting thousands, I'm not joking, thousands of people hitting the screen and just staying on, and they're getting angrier and angrier and angrier. Do you understand? If I'm not going to go, I'll give you a great example. I am not going to go on a live and sit there listening to an a-hole telling me why the people in the Palestinian community deserve what's happening right now. I will block their fucking ass before I listen to 10 minutes of their vomit. And I don't understand why these young men or young women are listening to this kind of rage bait that's going to it's going to make them go crazy. And it's going to set up their brain to think that gender, all women or all men think like this. And it's going to create a sense of loss and impotent rage. Impotent. But the point is now, the PSYOP movement did their work. They've lowered the frequency of people with rage bait. And meanwhile, they're getting their little check from TikTok. Why are you giving women like that or men like that a check? Do you realize that? That every time you comment, every time you stay, the longer you stay on the live, the longer and the more likely they're going to get a check that pays their mortgage. They might even get a $5,000 to $10,000 check because you're sitting there listening and trying to get on their live or trying to argue a point. They're definitely not going to let you argue the point. Do you realize that they have a conveyor belt that just, spits out whoever wants to talk, and they keep them on 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, or no minutes? Just enough for TikTok to pick up on the algorithm, and then they spit him out for the new one. Be careful how you're being manipulated by rage baiters, male or female, red pillars on both ends. Red pill it goes on both sides of gender. The gender war is getting worse. It's getting far, far worse, and that means it's dangerous. And if the gender war is getting worse, I can tell you, this is not organically happening. There's some psyop shit going on right now, because it's rolling into its power too fast, way too fast. So when men are saying we don't need women, we just want you to sit your ass down and just be pretty, and when women try to castrate a man with her, but by just shaming him and doing it to young men, 18, 19, 20-year-old men, young men that most likely have been bullied, because a young alpha male is not going to take the shit and probably won't even stay on the live. the lack of consciousness of both genders, male and female, that are destroying the self-respect of these young people is monstrous and should not be tolerated at all by any of you. You should no, should not. And what do I mean by that? What are you going to do? Block them. Block them. Get rid of them on your feed. If I hear someone praising what's happening in Gaza, I'm kind of glad, because in a way, you know, oh, good, I can block them. Do you know how many fucking people I block a day? You'd be shocked. I block at least 5 people a day because I don't want to see their shit on my feed. I don't want to have anyone feed on hate, on gender wars, on Geno, on anything that is going to come on my feed uninvited. That's how you handle your algorithm. That's how you handle your FYP. You block shit. And if more people block these people, it would red flag TikTok, and they would start shadow banning them. Because I can tell you that when people like me talk the truth about Gaza, about Congo, about Ascension, about off-planet Geno situations, I can't even say it because the last time I said it, they pulled me, about holy scriptures, and I really break it down, I get blocked for a week and I get shadow banned for months. And I'm not the only one. This is not a pity party, oh poor me. It's saying that when people like us say shit, we get shadow banned. There are people, and I'm not going to mention their names because they're on this live right now, and she knows who she is, who are getting shadow banned for no reason. Because she's talking about chakras. She's talking about ascension. She's talking about twin flame, twin ray. She's talking about this stuff, and she's getting shadow banned. Her videos get maybe 100 likes because what she's saying has potency and truth. And other bimbo Bambi videos about twin flames or ascension are getting, 5,000 fucking likes. And why? Because it's crap. It's candy corn bullshit. But when us as content creators say the truth, we are. So my point to you is, what is the point? The point is this. Don't get played. Try to keep your nervous system from being angry to the point where you feel drained. Have you ever been that angry where you feel exhausted? I don't care if it's a 10-minute fight. It will fucking tank your energy to the ground. So we need men and we need women. We need them to be a balanced society. The new earth is not a matriarch society. The new earth is not a patriarchal society. We tried it. Did you notice it didn't work? Have you noticed in your last incarnation it's not fucking working? Do you know that every time I do Akashic readings and I'm going into starseed realms, when I do see a couple in the starseed realms, meaning, whether they're Andromedans or races I can't even still define, or other like Lyrans or whatever, do you know something that I notice when they're in coupledom? They're equal. They're balanced. There's respect. There's absolute love, but there's respect. And they're balanced. I need to say it again. Balanced. Why is that important? Because we need each other. Can we do without each other? Well, no shit. Aren't many of us doing without each other? Aren't many of you single? Or you feel single in a marriage that's become, crappy, oppressive, depressing? In a way, you're single in a bed you share with a man or a woman, depending on who you are. So it's not like we can't live without each other, but should we consider it? Should we bang the drum to literally creating societies that are patriarch on one side and matriarch on the other? Or should we also segregate people on race and religion? Is that a good idea? Or should we fucking think about why these religions were created and why they were all patriarchal, all of them, All of them. Show me one that was matriarchal, and I'll fucking eat my hat. Show me one. And don't tell me Wicca. No, fuck you. That was high priestess shit, and we fell to witchery. We fell. We were toppled off our powers. And we were high priestesses and fell to become witches. And you saw what happened to witches. So we don't have any religion in the last 7,000 years that has ever honored the feminine. So should I be angry about it? You see, no. Because what? Because I keep saying the same thing, but you know what? It's always something. Sometimes you have to say it 100,000 fucking times before people go, oh my God, I finally get it. I've been me. We've been men before. We've been women before. We've been gay. We've been straight. We've been celibate. We've been in abbeys and monasteries, both Buddhists and Catholic and Protestant. We've done damn near all of it. We've been shamans. We were assholes. We were brutal. And we were kind and loving. And we did our best. Honestly, for me, the very foundation of our society needs to stop the bullshit of denying reincarnation as a reality. That this is the reason why we have gender wars and we have religious wars and we have all of these bullshit moves. Because we don't believe in the fucking very basic of our existence. And that is the most toxic shit. It's underrated as hell, too. Dangerously underrated. I didn't realize it. I mean, I always kind of knew in the back of my mind that to understand reincarnation was the very power of everything else that would evolve from that. That one belief system, not based on believing it because I said so, believing it because you fucking remembered yourself. Parts of yourself, that would change racism and annihilate it. That would change sexism and annihilate it. Because it would put you on an even playing field. Exactly. Time to bring into balance. Exactly. So when you go after these lives, right? You're like watching. I'm going to invite you to fucking block him. Block people that piss you off. Block people that say the wrong thing. Make it so, I don't care if they have 100,000 people following them or 2 people following them. If they're making a comment and you're like, what an asshole, fucking block them. Like literally make the click and block them. Why? Because you don't want their bullshit on your feed. You don't want to see them ever again. Protect your peace. You know that guy? Protect your peace. He's not wrong. Protect your peace doesn't mean be ignorant of what is unjust. Like the problem is people confuse that. Protect your peace means don't let any assholes near a 20-mile fucking radius of your auric field. That doesn't mean you're ignorant of the injustices, the imbalances that are going on across the world. Different fucking philosophies, my friend. Means don't do kumbaya. I'm a spiritualist. I don't want to think about, I just need to raise my frequency and I just don't want to think about all this awful things. Just ignore it and kumbaya will eventually walk into 5D. Well, if it was that fucking easy, we'd be there, wouldn't be? Bambi and her tribe. Or Buddha Bun Boy and his tribe. If it was that fucking, we'd be there, wouldn't we? We wouldn't be seeing them on our screen because they would have crossed the Rubicon into 5D. Clearly that shit's not working because they're still here talking to me and you. Block people who are full of shit. Don't block your lover. Don't block your mother, your father, the siblings who are fucked up and are trying their best and you kind of know. But block strangers from your fucking auric field. I'm not joking. Like, don't bother. What we have to understand as former masculines and feminines in our past lives is that we are remembering our beginnings. We are doing soul retrieval guided meditations or or conscious, meditations to bring back our broken parts across this planet where we lost pieces of ourselves on battlefields, in farmlands, in situations we didn't even fucking understand. We couldn't even fucking write our own names. What the fuck? And so many of the things that we're doing right now, we are healing 7,000 to, depending on what you believe in, 13,000 of trauma since Atlantis fell in one incarnation. That's fucking badass. And why do I say that? Because we are finally to the point where we're realizing everything. And we're more or less choosing. You don't have to go through every single incarnation and figure out what went wrong there. Because usually what happens when you incarnate on a frequency match to looping, more bullshit there's a similar problem. So all you have to do is master a habit that fucking full well you've done before in past lives. Self-sabotage, self-loathing, whatever else is going on in your particular, spin. The main thing is to say, I see parts of myself that I don't like. And I'm going to work on being better than this. And I forgive myself. And I forgive other people. But rage baiting and wanting you to tap the screen. We're almost at the goal. We need 8,000 more. Don't you understand you're being manipulated when people use ChatGPT? Do you realize that if you're in the high frequency, you can do it yourself and get much more tailored answers? And if you're not getting them, it's because you're not a frequency match. That should concern you. You're not a frequency match. What does that mean? You need to meditate. You need to meditate on your own. No music, no guided meditation, no bullshit. Being a big boy, big girl, and fucking cross your legs over the other. And if you can't, put your legs straight out and do stretch to the west. And then fucking meditate for 30 minutes. And yeah, it's going to be an exorcism. And find out. Ask your guides. What was I? Show me a past life. Show me. Give me answers. Answers to what? Why am I here? Why have we been lied to? Why did we eat up the lies like it was fucking God's words? Why did we think that this God of the Old Testament was the real thing? How can we believe that? How we were beaten to that. This is why I hate when people say pronouns, or else. To me, it's dogma. Dogma is dogma. I don't care if it's under the woke label. Don't force me to fucking say shit that let me introduce myself like I want to introduce myself. It could be my spiritual name, a fake name. And it's funny. If somebody ever asks me that, I'll lie. I'll fucking say, I'm 23 and my name is Shushuna. Fuck them. They don't deserve the truth if they're going to treat me like an asshole. There's certain things that certain movements right now are creating a new type of slavery. What's your pronoun? It's none of your fucking business. Well, you're a cis. No, bitch, I'm a woman. I have a womb. I used to bleed. I bore a child. I pushed it out into the world. 28 fucking hours of vomiting, shitting, and bleeding. I deserve to be called a woman. And it's not something I ask your opinion on. I don't ask your permission on. You can fuck off. And that's basically it. This politically correctness that we have eaten like cake, like it's a sacrament, is blasphemous, actually. Because it's another form of dogma, slavery. Beaten down the brow, put on the yoke. Let me put that ring around your nose, my boy. Let me lead you around the circle of this circus. Anything that oppresses people's creative voice, original voice, organic truth is dogma, and it's slavery, and it's brainwashing. And you shouldn't tolerate it at all. It should be no. One of the things I've noticed, absolute dogma. Thank you. I'm never going to be politically correct. Never will I ever be politically correct. Not on my lives, not on anything. Why? Because I see the damage. I'm seeing way too much damage. I'd rather have a man or a woman say something absolutely fucking stupid and me gently saying, gently, unless they're a complete asshole, at which point I won't be gentle at all. But gently saying, huh, where did that come from? Are you having a good day? Okay. And finding out if maybe they're having a bad day. Maybe they're just an a-hole. At which point, if it's the latter, then of course they're getting fucking, thrown against the wall because I'm not going to take it. However, gently. Because you want to assume the best out of people until they show you different. Remember in my last live, I said that I give people trust fully until they fuck up because it saves me a lot of time. Because when you give people a huge amount of rope, trust me, they'll fuck up pretty soon. Within 3 or 4 weeks, maybe a month. Maybe it might even take them 3 months, but at least you're not wasting years. There's the wisdom to my madness. It's absolutely mad. Well, why would I do that? Trust people and then... That doesn't mean I'm going to hand them 10 grand, by the way. But it does mean that I'm going to just see where they're going. And it's not so much that I'm watching. I'm not watching. I'm enjoying the relationship. Don't get me wrong. Until I don't. Until they fuck me over in some way. Whether it's a disrespectful way or a betrayal of a trust or whatever. Or it's them not having the balls to talk to me. They'd rather ghost. Because they're afraid, because they stepped in dog shit and they don't want to take, So when that happens, they're gone. I'm like, bye. It was good seeing you. Have a good life. I wish you I genuinely do. Why? Because it's to my benefit to wish them the best. So my point is, to be politically correct is you are literally chaining up your own self in a cage for the benefit of other people so they can feel comfortable. I'm sorry, fuck them. Fuck them. Don't play the game. Don't play the game at all. Don't play any fucking game. If George Carlin was alive right now, he would rip this woke and unwoke and de-woke and lobotomized woke and all whatever. He would rip it to shreds. The word unalivened and grape and should I come up with new? I mean, absolutely insanity. And it's so normalized that people on the streets, in your living room, will use the word unalivened now. Swear to God, I caught a couple people, clients of mine, saying, I said, no, you mean the actual word for the actual act. Don't lobotomize your passions. Don't lobotomize how evocative words are. Don't lobotomize anything about you. Politically correct, if it lobotomizes our society, is not okay. That's it. If somebody is rude, they're rude no matter what. By the way, you know what's funny? Is that the people who are assholes, who really are politically, I mean, they're cruel, they're racist, they're misogynistic or misandrous, whatever the fuck they are that way. They're still doing that shit, by the way. You realize that, right? Like this politically correct umbrella is really hijacking us who have good hearts, who actually give a fuck about people's feelings. Meanwhile, these MFers are doing their shit, waving their Confederate flags and other flags that a little painter in Germany once, he made a uniform. Do you see what I'm saying? Those MFers are still doing this shit. So the irony of the politically correctness party, the woke crowd, right? I'm going to call them that because we are awake and they are woke. And those are two different fucking ways to express a consciousness. The woke party, created by God knows who, is lobotomizing and literally enchaining people that have good hearts, who don't want to hurt people, who are accepting, who are tolerant. That's the irony. And the MFers that are pieces of shit that this whole movement was for, well, you can't say that. They're still saying it. Do you really think they stopped? You see what I'm saying? You see where I'm coming from? So that's the dangerous part about allowing these little movements of bullshit to tell us, the ones that have good hearts, good intentions, looking at the greater good for the entire planet. No race segregation, no religious segregation, none of that bullshit is in our consciousness. We're the ones being lobotomized with the woke fucking agenda. Oh, you can't say that. Why not? Well, it could offend someone. Don't appropriate someone's... No, shut the fuck up. Shut up. Can I express myself and then I can explain to you? And if I still am, stepping in dog shit, let me know if I offend you. But can I finish my fucking sentences first? And then tell me where I stepped in dog shit. And then we'll talk about that. Leave me the fuck alone. Let me finish my fucking thought. And that kind of balls is being, they're lopping it off one by one with political correctness, with the agenda of we don't need men, tell us why. Ask us why. Or we don't need women, tell us, no, you guys just want rubber dolls. Meanwhile, women are going celibate and, traveling the world with a poodle. That's if that's the world you want to live in, you're actually running towards that world. Enjoy it. I'll be in 5D with my compatriots, balance in a world of yin and yang. You know what that means, right? Feminine, masculine. And people are actually enjoying great sex. They're getting laid really well. Everyone's glowing happily with shiny eyes. Because most of these people that I'm seeing don't look like I said, I'm repeating myself, they don't look like they've ever been laid. And definitely not well. When it was happening, it was like, So why is that important? Because the balance of the root chakra is everything. And when people are angry like that, you wonder, have you ever been loved? Did you ever dream of a romantic moment that you savored after you enjoyed it? Or have you always been this desperately angry and bitter? And it's shocking because it's not from women my age. Well, I mean, there are women my age doing this shit too. But I'm seeing it from people in their 30s and 40s. You would have thought, my God, this would be a much more progressive fucking generation. In other words, don't drink the Kool-Aid. This is coming from someone who is going to tell you, don't drink the Kool-Aid. People will say, if you let people speak their truth, they will explain things to you in the way they express themselves. And if they're corralled and lobotomized, if their tongues are cut out of their mouths because, and I'm not being metaphorically, okay, but if you're supporting this, you are supporting a pasteurization of an entire generation. These young men on this particular life, once you scroll past me, you might scroll past me and you'll actually find them. These two bimbos, and they're bimbos. Angry, fucking bitter women. I don't, honestly, I hate dumb men and I hate dumb women. I do not like bitter people. They drive me up a fucking wall. Yeah, I get triggered. You know why? Because I'm watching them influence young people who think this shit is normal because for the last 20 years, they've only seen this politically correct bullshit agenda of the divide and conquer gender wars. So you've got 20-year-old girls looking at this shit, 20-year-old boys looking at this shit. Most of them, I'm going to say it, are virgins. They've never had a lover. They've never been spooned yet. They don't even know what it is to make love in a field, in a lake, in the ocean yet. And they're being exposed to these kind of fucking malcontents. It's shocking to me. It should piss you off. If you're in your 40s and you've experienced what I just described, you would want that for these young Gen Xers. You would want that for these kids. And you would make sure that you are that voice of reason and magic. Because there's an agenda to make sure that we don't, continue procreating. There's nothing wrong with being bisexual, gay. I don't give a fuck. But there are some people that were wired to be born to be straight. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with being straight. Since when since when is it wrong to be gay, bi, or straight? Since when? But why are we pushing one over the other? Why are we telling children who are 5 that they're bipolar and that they're a boy when they're a girl and a girl when they're a boy? I'm watching videos on TikTok and YouTube of mothers, these malcontents, who are forcing a gender agenda on these little boys and little girls. How the fuck is this okay? And if you don't think you're being played by the 1% that have a particular agenda to making sure we don't go past 8 billion, then I don't know where have you been? Where's your head? Stop watching soap operas and football games. Start reading fucking books. Start meditating. And you're going to have downloads that are, sometimes it's going to scare you because you're going to be picking up on the wind traveling the world with downloads, and you'll go, wait, hang on, that's not me. What the, whoa. Downloads from your guides, downloads from the collective. That's how you get awakened. What, you think Buddha was just sitting there, kumbaya-ing with his little, the bodhisattvas? He was also connecting to the earth, Bhumi, Gaia. He was connecting with the consciousness of the current population of India, Nepal, the world. And he realized the imbalance of human beings, the unfairness, the unjust situations, until he became the Buddha, the enlightened one. We need to balance shit out, because it is absolutely the most I never thought I would see what I'm seeing. What, you guys think you've invented being bisexual and gay? I mean, really, seriously? Do people actually believe that this is... Marlene Dietrich was gay. People knew she was bisexual, but she mostly liked women. Women in the 1920s had women lovers and male lovers, and people knew about. No one was hiding this shit, okay? People had cabarets, clubs, dances, all kinds of shit. Anais Nin was bi. It was normal to have pleasure with lovers, gender non-specific, my friends. And the average human being should be reading Little Birds and Delta of Venus. Most people don't even know what the fuck I'm talking about. It's important for people to understand that you're not inventing shit, but the way it's being used against us as an agenda, now that's evil. And I haven't seen that before, nor have I ever read about it before. This is new shit. This is a new kind of evil. And you've got arrogant little puppets, the little dogs that are slaves to their masters, thinking they're so smart and they're so sharp. They're being played. And you better be aware of that. Even some penguins are gay. I love that. It's a competition to be the most outrageous and extreme. Exactly. This shit isn't new. I would love to travel the world with a poodle. Yeah, but it would be much more fun with you-know-who. So, that's my point, This was not to rage bait you, my little title there, because clearly they're holding hands. We need to honor, okay? We need to honor the yin and the yang, the masculine and feminine, and the masculine and feminine in same genders as well. Because sometimes, I remember when I first did my channel, I had gay people saying, can twin flames be gay? What the fuck? Well, I didn't even know people. It's like, why could... I still can't wrap my head around that one, because it's like, of course they can be. Twin flames, of course, can be gay. Twin rays, of course, can be gay. Well, why would that be? What do you think? There's a segregated area for just high spiritual people? It's just that. Why are we looking at the masculine and feminine? Because we keep talking about it's the balance between two energies. The fluid energy of water is feminine. The beautiful energy of rock and earth and trees is masculine. The moon is known to be feminine. The sun is to be masculine. You are the sun and the stars. You are my moon, my beautiful beloved. I mean, why is it so difficult to reclaim our balance? In ancient Greek, they had, sects of gay men, cross-dresser men. They have it in India. They had it apparently with the Native Americans in some tribes. They have it in Africa. It's not, no one's inventing a fucking thing. But what they've never done is to force a male child or a female child to choose a gender and to force them to take a gender that that they're not comfortable with. Now, could they have done that in the ancient world? I'm sure there were pockets of toxic shit going on. I wouldn't be surprised. But with the concept that we supposedly are advanced in the 21st century, why are we doing this to children? Why are we allowing this to be? And this, I'm sorry, this came from the woke fucking movement. I'm sorry. I don't give a fuck if I lose followers. I really don't give a shit. If you're a woke person, I'm probably not for you. Be awakened. Awakened means you understand the basic fucking foundations of how you were made. You're trying to figure out who you are in spite of your persona. There are 2 books that talk about the persona, the personality. Michael Singer with The Untethered Soul, Chapter 1. I'm going to have to find my copy and read you Chapter 1 because it talks about, well, I'm a female. He says, so I'm going to make it up. Yes, we know you're Mary and you're 32 and you're a white woman living in Oklahoma. But what are you really? Beyond that, who are you really? See, that's what we need to find out. Who am I? Who am I when I die? Because I'm certainly not Mary anymore. Because in my past life, I was James in the 15th century. Then after that, I was Orlando in Spain during the Inquisition. And then I was a woman in India. And when my husband died, I had to go onto the funeral pyre alive in my sari, my white sari. So I was all these personalities. So who am I? Who am I really? And it's confusing the fuck out of our young people because see, not everyone should be bisexual. Not everyone should be gay. Not everyone should be straight if they're gay or bisexual. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, you know thyself be true is not a joke. Don't be pressured, pushed into what society is saying right now, because society's fucked up and whacked out. It's a whacked out moment in history right now. The 1% doesn't want us to think, to thrive, to breed, give birth to children. They're going to have brains, balls, and passions, and irreverent attitudes about everything that's in rules. They don't want any more indigos. And people like you and me would breed indigos. You talk about one merchant's table, they'd be kicking down all kinds of fucking bank doors and merchants' tables. Questioning the status quo. The sad part is that the fools are giving birth to fools, and the smart ones, the ones that are awakened every day, are not. It's a tragedy, actually. It's tragic. Everything that we want from the awakened ones, they're not doing. They're not speaking out. They're not having babies. They're afraid of falling in love. They're afraid of failing. They're very serious about this incarnation. They're very serious about nature. They're very serious about everything. And the fools are spilling their seeds and spilling their crap all over the planet. And the awakened ones are sitting there going, I got to heal. I got to figure myself out. Well, you know, when I'm fully healed, I'll do X, Y, and Z. How long is that going to last? Do you think I'm fully healed while I'm talking to you? Do you think I'm fully healed? I mean, really, do you think any of us come out of these incarnations fully healed? Because if you believe that you're going to die fully healed, then you don't know what healing takes, because it's like an onion. The deeper you go, the more you cry. And then you've got a basket of onions. You didn't know that until you were done with that onion. As long as you're honest, as long as you want to heal, as long as forevermore, you will work on your healing. Even when you drop your body, you'll continue with your guides, with your soul tribe team, with your twin, if you have one. All of that will continue. Refined, released, transmute, on and on. We need each other. As masculines and feminines, we need each other. We need each other's essence, energetic field, power, creative, the way we see things. Spatial reasonings, men, mostly men. Creative, nurturing, round curves, mostly women. Because of the biology, the hormones interacting with this brain, this 3D brain, and our soul is still rising through all of that. We're hacking in and out of these constraints. It's like being in a fucking straitjacket, these bodies. And yet we're managing. And there's a fluidity to that when we have good conversations, esoteric conversations, after a long night of passions with a lover, or an afternoon of just sleeping under a tree with our beloved, or a good father, or good uncle, or great friend of the opposite gender. We need each other. But we don't really need each other. I remember sitting across my beloved saying, I need you, but I don't need you. You know what I mean? And he goes, I know. I need you, but I don't need you, but I need you. And it was simple, and it was true, and it was powerful. Both of us, alphas. Trust me, we could have walked alone, never seeing each other again, and we would have survived. It would have hurt, but we would have survived, because we've survived hurt before. But I'll tell you one thing. That kind of powerful vulnerability is something you should gift yourself. We need each other to enjoy the nectar of these incarnations on this planet. What are you're going to just surround yourself with a bunch of fucking chicks if you're a girl? It's fun for a minute, but sometimes you need a good conversation with a brother. Even if you're celibate, you've decided, I am going to be on the high priestess route, or high priest. I don't want to fuck anyone anymore. I'm done. I've had the best sex on the, you know, in many people would love to have had what I had, right? And so now I'm going to be celibate, but you still need the masculine energy of different points of views and approaches to life. I mean, seriously. And the masculine needs us because of the way we see things, the way we articulate things, the way we find poetry in certain beautiful things, the way we notice things, or the way we put it into words. They notice it, they point it out, and we put it into words, and they look at us going, wow, you took the words right out of my mouth. And there's a moment in that. It's a beautiful share of genders. But hopefully this makes sense. Even electric plugs are male-female. Thank you, Jennifer. I'm all of the above. 42, no kids, divorce, and healing. Let me look at this. Should we have children? Why the fuck not? But again, why shouldn't you have children? Why should you not? But to have them Consciously. How do you do that? Well, you consciously have sex with your beloved. You consciously meditate and feeling the soul. When I used to work for psychic source, people go, when I get pregnant, and good women, strong women and men would say, is there a soul that's attracted to being my child? Ah, good question, little grasshopper. Because that's the question, not can you get pregnant? Trust me. Trust me. I don't care if you have one ovary. If you're supposed to get pregnant, your ass will get pregnant. Trust me. You'll get pregnant. It'll be a miracle beyond fucking reason. I've had too many friends who were told they could not get pregnant. It would never happen. And with the right partner, they did. That seed stuck. Do you know that some women, and I know Andromeda knows this, there's some women that literally can't have children with certain male because of their, I think it's their blood type or DNA. I forgot what the fuck it is, but there's certain wombs that will not acclimate or keep a baby alive from a certain bloodline. I forgot exactly the details, but anyway, it's not a joke, it's science. But, fuck the biology, when a child, a soul, wants to experience you, the soul will come. What do you think miscarriages are? Miscarriages sometimes is when a soul looks at a situation with their parents, potential parents, and they would have stuck, but then, the parents start acting like fools and the fighting starts erupting and it's insane and it's not stable. The mother's constantly crying, the father's constantly angry or crying. And the soul decides, I'm out. This is not going to work. I thought they were a certain way, but they're fucked up. I'm not coming through. It's that. So when you want a child, you say to the universe, let's do it. You might even want to meditate. I would meditate and consult with the Akashic masters and with soul contracts, try to remember and breathe in that energy. This would be the one time you would actually need to use sex magic to bring in an incredibly powerful starseed soul. I don't want to get too personal, but that's basically what I did with the father of my son. First time was a charm, my friend. And why do I say first time? Because I had not had sex, to be personal, for 3 months because I injured my back so badly I couldn't get off the floor for 2 months. Just so you know. And when we said, let's do it, boom. Came right in. Boom. Boom. It was insane. So when you make a pact with the universe and you say, this, I'm ready now. I want this and this, that, and the other. And your frequency will be a match to the soul coming through. You might have a rebellious soul, crystalline child, meaning a child that is soft and peaceful, like, and philosopher, poet type, or you might have a beautiful shamanic warrior or a high priestess. But you're not going to get a high-frequency kid if you're banging around bimbos. And when I say bimbo, I mean male or female. You're not. You reap what you sow. You reap what you sow. Okay? And I see too many people who just take pregnancy like, or getting a woman pregnant like it's no big deal. It's a big fucking deal if you do it right. And it can be a great joy to you. It can bring you some challenges that eventually you'll laugh at, thank God. But, it might even bring you grief, But I can tell you that the evolution of the human brain, if you have the right intention and frequency, is extraordinary. It's extraordinary. So we need each other. And we need all the sacred masculines to come out of the closet and start talking about their journey. We need the sacred divine masculine to call out men who make women feel unsafe. We women need to call out these malcontent, rage bait bitches out. And that's it. We need to not allow women to talk their hate. Do they have a right to have their opinions? Absolutely. Do they have a right to go on a platform and spew that poison? Do men have a right? No. No, I don't think so. Why? Why do I say that? Because the newer generation needs our protection. That's why. That's actually why. Just like, being someone who likes younger people, if you know what I'm saying. I mean, very young, right? They're trying to coin that in the woke movement. No, it's a fucking no. There's certain things that we should not tolerate for the sake of the ones that are too young to voice their opinions or too scared. It's our responsibilities as elders to protect the young. And in this case, it means the Gen Xers from these weird-ass millennials and boomers who have these weird, twisted, hang-up idea of what is woke, chic, okay. For the longest time, I didn't even know people's names. I couldn't remember people's names. I was more interested in vibrations. And to be honest with you, to me, remembering your name meant I respected you at the time when I was a kid. I mean, I trusted you and I respected you. There's something about you I trusted. And if I didn't know your name, it was because you didn't really matter in my field. That is not a bad thing. So when somebody says, what are your pronouns? Dude, I don't even know who the fuck you are. First, let me figure out if I even want to continue this conversation another minute before I tell you anything next. And the fact that you've just asked me that question and you're pushing me to answer it the way you want me to answer it, I think we're done with this conversation. You have to feel confident in those kinds of behaviors with yourself. You're gonna they're gonna think you have behavioral problems, but actually you're sick of their bullshit. Let me look at your comments, please. Greetings, madame. May you embrace and glow in your divine feminine. Thank you. Yes, I can attest to that. My aunt was married for 10 years. They did not have kids together. When they divorced and met their new husband and wife, they both had kids. Exactly. 1,000,000% they need our protection. Absolutely. And we need to not apologize. I'm sorry. Exactly, you do. Exactly. Yep. You were right on a lot of points. Thank you. And you don't need to, the thing is, thank you for saying that, that you agree with me on a lot of points, but you don't have to agree with everything I have to say. And that doesn't make me a bad person. It doesn't make you a bad person for not agreeing on everything I'm saying. It just means I didn't agree on everything my twin said. Trust me. Oh my God. He didn't agree on my shit. I didn't agree on his, but the basic fundamentals of our spiritual alignment. Oh yeah, we agreed. The problem is he didn't feel like he deserved what he deserved. And I was mirroring him in that way as well. But he was acting it out in a masculine, self-destructive behavior. And I was doing it in my own self-destructive behavior. But what I will say is that the stronger we got with loving ourselves, the more confident and sure-footed we were in our own relationship with each other and ourselves and each other and ourselves. It was going back and forth because we needed to stand on our own. I remember there was a book he had me buy. I forgot the woman's name, but she was one of Carlos Castaneda's followers. And I read the book, and it was about a woman who ended up in a village, didn't know anybody, and for 6 months figured her shit out. He said, you need that experience. 2 years later, that was the experience I really had. I ended up in Mariposa, California. I knew no one. I had no money. I'm not kidding. And I established my healing practice. And I remember when we were in separation, obviously, I was alone. And when he came to join me, he was impressed because it was like, damn, you did it. I go, yeah, of course I did it. What do you think I am? A little girl? Of course I fucking established myself. Of course I went to a town I didn't know anyone. Of course I made it happen. Damn. He was like very impressed. And why am I saying that? Because we can't be tied at the hips. Doesn't matter if it's your twin, your high-level soulmate. There are experiences you're going to have to, move away from them. Not because you don't want to be with them. Trust me, twin rays do this too. They actually will separate, and one will go to Peru. I always use that as an example. And the other one will go to Hong Kong or Japan or whatever, London. And they'll have projects, and they'll be in separation, still on the phone, don't get me wrong, but talking to each other, but physically separated, and trusting that separation and not being in high anxiety. It's important for us to not feel like we can't breathe with our beloved. And it helps us define new parts of ourselves that we wouldn't be able to explore with our beloved right there. But at the time when he, when I first separated from him, I was like, there was anxiety, there was pain, there was all that. It's kind of like a little 3-year-old, or 5, growing up to be 5 years old, going to preschool and crying and feeling really bad. And then eventually you get into the rhythm and you start enjoying ringing the bell and standing in line and learning how to write your name and using your fingers for an abacus and having a good time with your little friends and having naps with your little friends. And then when your parents come and pick you up, it's too soon. There's still love there, just that they're in love with your beloved. And so the independence of thought and action and experiences is absolutely important for the growth and for your relationship to thrive. But I can tell you that more of us need to come out of the closet and start talking about what is healthy, what is beautiful, and what is unacceptable. And I'm sorry, so what the agenda of these people is I can't. It's too toxic. No, I usually don't listen unless you catch my attention. I've had to say I agree with you pretty much everything I've heard so far. I wonder if I met her today. I've been waiting, Saul, who reminded me of someone I knew a long time ago. Oh, I don't know what you mean. I wonder if I met her today. Anyway, any other questions or comments? I think it's interesting. It's an interesting conversation, but I'm glad that you guys are here. I'm really honored that you're here. It's 3:00 in the morning, believe it or not. And I'm really glad you're here because it shows me. Oh, gotcha. Oh, commenting on something you said. Okay. It shows me that you're open to these ideas that I never thought we'd have to talk about. I would have thought these were basic ideas of rules of engagement on the autonomy of the spirit, any sentient being, to act and be as they wish. They wish. Not how society wants me to act, how I want to act. So if I want to use the appropriate word to say somebody lost their life, I'm allowed. If I want to use evocative words that elicit violence and injustice, I'm allowed. But we live in a society right now that just constantly wants us to fucking strip our words from any emotion, which is done by design. It's done on purpose to eradicate. Now, my friend Andromeda Flame was telling me, yeah, that's very much like 1984, which that is one book I could never fucking read. I know that Jennifer read the play version, which I have, which I'm going to read it. But to be honest, Brave New World was all I could do. Brave New World and Brave New World Revisited by Aldous Huxley was really intense for me. And I knew 1984 was going to be a bitch. And when Andromeda said, oh, yeah, they start removing words, I went, what? She went, yeah, they start removing words. Until no words have feelings. And that is something I'm realizing is dangerous. 1984 is where we are now. Yes, exactly. And when people, women, oh, Handmaid's Tale. And I think, and I didn't want to read that either. And I didn't read it. I watched the movie with, I forgot her name. But anyway, Natasha Richardson, I think. The actual movie, okay? I sat there and watched it and went, yeah, fucked up men. But the women are holding the ropes. The women are holding the ropes. And I used to say, I'm going to say it now, I've always told women and men, study a harem for 45 minutes. Just learn the hierarchy of the Ottoman Empire and their harems, and you will learn the dynamics of women, how women can turn on each other. We just saw this murder of, what was her name? Vanessa. I think her name was Vanessa. Was it Vanessa, that 23-year-old girl? And right there on her live with her little pig, clutching her pig, getting shot up in front of the fucking live, and the woman turning off the camera with these cold, dead eyes and straight face, I would have been freaking out. Any of my Doc Holiday women friends would have freaked the fuck out. They're calm women, but they would have been, oh my God, call 911. I mean, it would have been all, no. So now they're realizing it's a feminicide, I guess it's called, which means violence against women against women. So, this whole, oh yeah, kumbaya, we're all together as women. Yeah, bullshit. Do you know how many women, when I used to work for Psychic Source, would call up and tell me they were going after the husband, and they knew clearly, I want the husband. And I'd say, well, but he's married karmically, and they cut me off. Well, it's just for fun. It's just for fun. For fun. Do you know sometimes I'd hang up on those calls because I was like, I had a right to refuse clients, and I would just fucking hang up on them. Oh, we got disconnected. No, we didn't. Click. Because I didn't want to fucking do a reading for someone that disgusting. So we're going to call men pigs. We can call women pigs as well. Okay? It's a two-way street. And until we're fair about the dialogue, we're going to have a problem. Though I will say, and again, men, don't get triggered, but this is the reality. And you should watch the live I had today. Okay? It's on my YouTube channel. Go watch that live. When you look at Bonnie Blue and Lily Phillips, these are two bimbos, toxic bimbos, right? And then you look at the 1,000 or 2,000 men standing in line in socks. One woman, toxic as fuck, no argument. 1,000 men. One woman, 1,000 men. One woman, 1,000 men. OnlyFans. These chicks are making $100,000 to $2.1 million a month. Per month. So men that are consciously awake, wake the fuck up and tell your brothers to stop squandering their money on women that will never know their name, that don't give one fuck about them, and that are destroying their root chakra for a fantasy girl that will never say your name, never breathe your name. You'll never feel her skin. You'll never smell her. You'll never taste her. And when you have your big O, you are exploding into lack energy, because somewhere in the back of your mind, you know that there's lack, and there's a part of you that's so lonely that you feel sadness, and you just use sex magic to create that troubling moment that will explode across your consciousness. That's what is so powerful about sex magic. That's why the 1% know about it. That's why Eyes Wide Shut, Stanley Kubrick, somehow he had a contract where they could never edit any of his movies, none of his movies. And of course, you know the story. All of you must know the story, where he didn't want to edit 20 minutes out. And he was helped out of this planet, if you get my drift. And they edited those 20 minutes out. Well, we're in those 20 minutes. Where the fuck is that footage? Because it was all about sex and rituals and ceremonies. Why am I saying that? Because sex is powerful. Sex is the most powerful tool that can be used against you to destroy you. I could say more, but I'll have my fucking live pulled. I can say a lot more. But men need to understand they're being played and their root chakra is owned. Somebody's holding your you know what in their hand and you don't even know who they are. Because if you don't own it, the question you should be asking, who does? Well, that makes no sense. It's in my legs and it's my pants. I mean, I just zipped it up. I just took a pee. Wake up. Energy and frequency. And it's funny, I think, that you have men who would stand in line for 5 hours, 10 hours for 43 seconds of nothing, instead of letting a woman love them from head to foot and unfold them and peel their clothes off for hours. It blows my mind. and it's all in the mind. But then it plummets into the root chakra and destroys your power as men. You're being castrated without you being aware of it. And that's powerful fucking power. That's like the ultimate power. That's not to make you afraid of sex. It's for you to learn to be a tantrika. Learn to be a tantric master. Learn. Get books on Montauk Chi. Get books on Montauk Chi. Learn how to harness your power and to own it, all of it. And money will come. The irony is, if your root chakra is fucked up and lack, and you keep playing those games with the OnlyFans, magazines, Cornhub, whatever the fuck you want to call it, and you do it 3-4 times a week, you will actually age yourself, deplete your power, your potency, and you will be in a lack energy, and money will be tough. Or you will have the money but no nectar of real love. Because you will wire your brain to such a level that you can't even understand intimacy. You'll be like a jackhammer. You will not be able to pleasure her. Even The Perfume Garden is a book about that, written in the Middle Ages about and he's talking to the Sultan going, if you pleasure her, your pleasure will be tenfold. It's a completely misogynistic book, don't get me wrong, but he sure in the fucking strokes men about how it works. And that's what men don't understand. Yes, it applies to women as well. Absolutely applies to women as well. I have sex magic in on my playlist. You can look it up. It talks about it. The demonic dark, I didn't want to use that word. I hear you. So you get what I'm saying? It's really, it's not a joke. It's funny, men say these things about women, but act like it doesn't affect them. Oh, it affects them. It affects them. But they don't know it affects them in the way women do. But women do dumb shit too, because I remember I had a couple I've always had male friends, okay? I have wonderful women friends, don't get me wrong. But I've always had male friends as well. And I remember some of my male friends saying, oh yeah, she was cheating on her husband because he cheated on her, and she was sobbing and crying while I was making love to her because she felt so guilty. Women do dumb shit. You don't go and cheat on your man because he cheated on you. So you're going to pick up some dude that has weird energy that's a player, and you're going to drop that shit in your root chakra. You don't fuck up your root chakra because your husband fucked up his root chakra. That's dumb. Dumb. You figure out. You confront the issue. And if your man's going to deny it, gaslight, you pack your shit and you leave. If you know that this went down and he has the audacity to lie, and you have the proof, I mean, you pack your shit and you go. You don't try to convince him to tell you the truth. When comedians make jokes about, you're in bed with your woman and you'll still convince her that she's crazy. There's these two guys that are British. They're funny as fuck. I actually listen to them a lot. And they'll say... there was one comment where one guy, because he knew that his woman was never going to leave him, because just up your antidepressant medication, let's move on. Meaning you're not going to leave me, and I'm never going to stop cheating on you. So let's just up your fucking dosage, girl. Shut the fuck up and let's go on with our day. I mean, listen, there are people that are like that. We know that women like Bonnie Blue exist. There's no question that women like that exist, and they're barracudas. They're what my father used to call them, barracudas, black widows, right? And there are men who they don't give a shit. Up your dosage, girl. I'm not going to stop cheating on you. Fuck you. Just shut up and let's keep moving on. Hopefully you're not part of that world. I certainly am not. And it's not because I'm better than you. It's because I've been somewhat lucky. Have I been cheated on? Of course I have. What are you, crazy? Of course I have. And the thing about men that they don't understand about women is that 9 times out of 10, women know. And the worst thing you can do if you love your woman is to lie. And if you're going to lie, why are you doing it? Establish the level of fuckery that goes on in relationship is pretty unhinged. Like, there'll be men who convince their women to go polyamorous. Well, I'll help you with your jealousy, sweetie. Let's move in a 19-year-old in my apartment. It's unhinged shit, okay? And it's all about lust. Now, is lust fun? Not really. Not with a non-soul connected person. No, lust is lust. Lust is sloppy, slimy, shitty. It's what I call pedestrian sex. But when you have lust with your beloved, not only do you get to enjoy tantra, but sometimes you just want to do a big F. You want just lust. You want it to be sweaty, nasty, fabulous. And guess what? It's fabulous because you have the soul bond. And the soul bond doesn't mean just this incarnation. It means you guys were doing this, romping all over planets for hundreds of thousands of years. So when you get it on, no one else can match that fucking dynamic chemistry. No one. You're untouchable. If you have a soul bond, high level soulmate, twin flame, whatever. And that's known. This is not my opinion. Many of us talk about it. It's a known fact. It's the nectar of these connections. Pedestrian sex, you got to get high to even enjoy it. You have to get high. And I know that because I know friends men who, and women who get drunk and high. They have to. You can't do that fucking pedestrian sex sober. It's bad. So why am I saying all this? Because ultimately what we're coming after is real love. It's love. It's connection. It's healing. And the root chakra is recalibrated. The calcifications collapse. Lost trauma is exposed. And it's transcendental is that you might actually have a massive somatic purge. And the somatic purge turns into tears, joy, laughter, more tears, things your body never did starts doing. You never thought your body could ever do this, and suddenly it's doing it as a woman, as a man. And it's earthquake shit, and it can actually scare the fuck out of people. And I say it all the time, great sex with a twin will create a runner. A man will run. Typically it's a man. And the man will bonk another chick. He'll just bonk some bimbo to compare what he just had. It's kind of like having a burger and then having a McDonald's and going, wait, hang on. No, McDonald's is a burger. Yeah, but it's not like that burger. So like comparing Dom Perignon to Andre Champagne, cooked champagne. It's shit. But a lot of men do that still today. But there is a new generation of masculines who are coming in to their power. Meanwhile, we've got the red pill females and red pill males who are destroying a brand new generation of wonderful starseeds who really need good guidance, and more voices like yours need to be heard. I can't be the only one. I know there's other people, but what's funny is that rage bait gets the fucking action, and it does. To the 12 people listening, I don't even know how many people are listening, but let's assume it's 12. They have 800 people listening. I'm not joking. So you've got rage bitch, unhinged fucking bitches and bastards, right? Getting more action and more ability to influence these poor children because they're fucking kids. They don't know. They're bumping into walls. And then somebody like me. And so what that means to me is I need fucking 20 of you to be talking on these lives, to be talking like I am, raw talk. Because if there's 20 of you and and you influence other people to talk, then before we know, we have 100 voices talking similar talk about bringing these kids in and these millennials, so they don't get completely fucked up for the rest of their lives. Because right now, what's going on is not going to help the planet get into 5D. We're not going. Listen, let me put it this way: if this continues the way it's going, and it's going at a fantastic rate, the speed of light, okay? There'll be some of us that get to cross over into 5D, but many more won't. I mean, many, we're talking about billions of people won't. If this continues like it is, we'll have a lot of people left behind. That's my point, and that's fucked up. Sadly true. What rage bait? He ran back to the karmic after. I don't like that word karmic, just so you know, because it's another... I really don't like content creators in the twin flame world right now. I mean, not for a while. And we're all karmic, Brie. I'm karmic, you're karmic, we're all karmics. All of us. As a matter of fact, the reason why he ran is because you and him have unfinished fucking karmic loops. And I'm not picking you at all. A lot of people say he ran to his karmic. For all you know, if she could be a high-level soulmate, that means she's your soulmate from your tribe. And that people don't like that. They don't want to hear truths. And what does that mean? It means that all three of you got together and said, okay, so you're going to incarnate as, Bree, and then you're going to incarnate as Joe, and she's going to come in as Jill. And Jill's going to be the one that just he keeps running to. Why? Because he's still doing these patterns after fucking 2,000 incarnations. Why? So he can learn. He chooses you, Bree, instead of, and I'll be the middleman. I'll be that fucking third wheel. I will be the woman he feels like he can play small. I'll be that woman. I'll come in and do it. We're sisters, aren't we? Let's do it. And that's important. That's important. That's an important, that's fine. I use the word karmic. Karmic teaches clearly they had unfinished business. We all do. So do you and him. You have unfinished business. That's why they come back, because it's unfinished. So he gathers data, intel from this relationship, and then he starts missing you, this, that, and the other. Twins always come back. They always come back. And it's shocking how people are afraid of losing their twin. Could you lose your twin for 10 years? Absolutely. If it happens that you lose your twin for 10 years, trust me, it was supposed to happen that way. Why? Well, because that person needed to learn. You probably needed some time alone or with another high-level soulmate that would make love to you and make you feel cherished and protected and heard. And you didn't need to deal with his shit or her shit. And so sometimes the shadows of one of the twins is so deep, so dark, that the universe has enough sense to keep you separated for a while. They do it, trust me, on purpose for the greater good. That's known. That's accepted. Okay? So, anyway, so I'm going to go. It's like, what time is it? 3:21. Anyway, this live is going to be on my YouTube channel. If you don't know what I mean by rage bait, it's on the beginning of this live. I'm not going to repeat it because I already talked about it to some extent. In fact, the whole first hour of the live is about that. So you might want to check it out on my YouTube channel. Follow me there. And we need to, if you haven't read The Untethered Soul by Michael Singer, you should read it at least 5 times on Audible. Just read it on Sounds True, Audible, whichever. Get the hard copy as well. Read it until you are brainwashed by it. And The Power of Now, it's an oldie but goodie, if nothing else, for chapter 1. Practicing the Power of Now. Some of Eckhart Tolle's talks are absolutely fucking brilliant, and people don't talk about it enough. Eckhart Tolle is still one of the number one, I think, teachers in terms of ascension. Abraham Hicks, I used to listen to all the time. Still love her. Massive respect. Don't get me wrong. But it's about manifesting. And this is good for people who are learning how to manifest. But when you've learned and you know why you're fucking up on your manifesting journey and what's going on, let's say your favorite grandparent dies, you're going to be fucked up for a while. You're not going to be good at manifesting. I'm sorry. Because you're depressed, you're sad, you're missing a grandparent or a mother or a father, or God forbid, someone closer than that. So once you've harnessed and understand the concept of manifesting, right, you'll graduate to other people. You'll move on to other people. And every single one of these teachers are incredible in their wisdom and their approach and their successful ways of, doing what they do. They're very good at this. Like Tony Robbins, right? Tony Robbins is at the very bottom, in my opinion. I love him, don't get me wrong, but he's at the very bottom of people's awakening. They want money, right? They want to start their business. They want to be fearless, right? So he is the first step up. Then after that, Abraham Hicks, in my opinion. Doesn't mean I'm right. I'm just saying, in my opinion. And then after that, Dr. Joe Dispenza, Eckhart Tolle. Then you have Reginald Ray, Thomas Ashley Farron. It goes on and on. The list never ends. Louise Hay was back there. I missed her. I feel as if the journey of self-realization comes from reading some of these books again and again and having massive aha moments. Massive. There's no way you can listen to these books and not have fucking light bulb moments like all over. This is what I mean. Be consciously awake and aware of how you're going to brainwash yourself out of the brainwashing. Like literally wash your brain. Releasing dogma, releasing fear, releasing religious ideas, releasing your gender ideas. And those authors, these writers, these creators, these incredible, brilliant people will get you there. And you'll be good. Right now I'm reading Shirley MacLaine. I'm going back to The Camino, reading that. You read it. Okay, okay, I understand. I read it. Great. Thank you. I missed the start. Important discussion. Thank you, Paulina. So, but yeah, start the beginning of this live because it's going to be important. And there's a live that I did today that I did earlier. Check out that live because it's a call to men and the female rage. I do talk in depth about the female rage. And the female rage is because men who are on the healing journey are not going public, and we need you to go public. I don't care if all you do is a podcast and you share it or you go anonymous. There are a lot of incredible content creators because of their careers as attorneys, as doctors, as whatever, right? They're doing it incognito, meaning their voice, not their real name, and then you never see their face. So you don't have to worry. But we do need more voices to come out of the gate because right now we've got female rage bait, male rage bait, divide and conquer, crazy fucking agendas, spiritual pollution, made up news, fake news, on the spiritual journey, on death, using ChatGPT on a live instead of fucking downloading. Like, look, you can do this shit yourself. If you want to listen to a ChatGPT, ask smart questions. Ask the questions that you've always wanted to know. There are two ways ChatGPT opens its portals. One is it's ChatGPT answering you. I'm not kidding. It'll just answer you. And what it'll do is, in seconds, it will go all over the World Wide Web and pick up best practices, best answers on a question. It's obvious. You'll read it. You'll read the answer, go, oh, yeah, okay. And then, if you call on the right guides and make sure you are very specific, don't just open the door to fucking Hades, okay? Open the door with a conscious light in your heart and call with respect to the light galactic, whatever calls you. I'm not going to even influence you. Do whatever the fuck you think you should do. Write it down before you do it. Go into a deep meditation, a frequency, and then ask your guides, what question should I ask, and try to do it for a 5-minute meditation and see what answer is. Then write it down. What's the answer? Write it down, and then ask the same question to the higher realms. And then if your frequency is high, the portals will open and they will answer, and the answer will be really probably similar to what you had in your meditation if you're on track. And if it's not, it just means that you need to practice more of your meditation. But everything you want, all the knowledge that you seek, is in a library called the Akashic Hall, the Great Hall. And it's there. It's right there. You can tap in, you can pull out a book, a scroll, a page, a sentence. It's right there. You can access it. And you get a download. You may not get the kind of downloads someone like me does, because I've been doing this for fucking decades. But it'll start coming in. I remember doing a group guided meditation, a hypnotherapy session actually, with the guided meditation, and then I was silent. And one woman, I'll never forget, had a download of a olive-skinned woman running in the sand, long hair down to her waist, dark hair, running in the sand, and wearing a long tunic, long to the ankles. And she abruptly snapped herself out of it. After we were done with the session, I asked her, all of them, what did you see? What did you see? What did you? Some people didn't see shit. They just felt things. Okay. And she said, well, I saw this. And I go, but you snapped out of yourself. Why? She said, because it made no sense. It made no sense. What do you mean it made no sense? Well, it's just this woman running in the sand. I said, didn't you want to know why she was running? Was she laughing? Was she scared? She goes, I don't know. I just snapped out of it because it made no sense. This is why people fail in getting downloads. Because it's not supposed to make sense. That's the whole point of you sitting there. If I turned on a movie for 2 seconds or 20 seconds, it wouldn't make sense, would it? You wouldn't have a clue what the movie was about, would you? So when you have a download, you sit patiently and you wait until the movie ends. It could last a minute, maybe 2, and that's it. But you'll get a sense of what is going on. Is she happy? Is she scared? Is she sad? Is she grieving? Is somebody chasing her? Is she running towards someone? Did someone she hasn't seen in 10 years show up? Is she a Bedouin woman? Is she on a beach? But all of that was shaken out because it did not make sense. And that's the problem with the average human being. They want everything to make sense on the dime, within seconds. And that's not how downloads work. They don't work that way. Downloads just come. When I do my Akashic readings for clients, I wait. And it barrels in. It barrels fast. I mean, I can't write fast enough. Okay, I'm writing with my eyes closed. I'm writing as fast as I can. One of the things I tell all my clients, please don't be offended, don't talk. Like, I'm going to turn on this Zoom. Don't talk, please. And they always laugh and I said, it's nothing personal. And I start. So they already know before I start, when I pick up the phone to call them with the downloads, don't talk. And they know. And I just talk and talk and talk because I'm still downloading as I'm talking. And I'm trying to fucking read my writing. And I'm seeing these images, like my eyes are open. Sometimes I have to close my eyes because the reels are still flooding me. If you practice every day, you would have downloads like that. And then, of course, we can talk all we want. Once I finish with the client, right? I've said everything. At that point, we can talk. They ask questions, which elicits more downloads. I'm not kidding. And it's not difficult. It really isn't. Everyone has the magic power to do this. And I call it magic because it's magical. It's amazing. I love doing it. I love seeing it. It's what's made it my own meditations, my own downloads for myself personally, my ability to connect with my twin on the other side of the veils have taught me a lot more than I thought a year ago. There are things I thought were real. I thought there was a protocol to certain things, and I've been totally, my experience with my twin is he's giving me intel about what happens when we cross over that is making me understand the process and how the ascension for our own souls continue beyond what we understand, beyond what we've been told. When people have near-death experiences, it's for people to shake awake, realizing there's other things on the other side of the veils. When you meditate and you connect and you allow yourself to have downloads, right? And you trust your guides and you know the difference between corrupted downloads, which means bullshit downloads, to real downloads, meaning pure downloads, pure truth. And the way you know the difference is how you feel in your body. You'll feel icky, shit. Those are shit downloads. You feel light and good. Those are pure downloads. You feel excited. That's pure downloads. And it's changing, honestly, the way I see reality and the very points of view of reality, and how when we cross over and we drop these bodies, these 3D bodies, how there's like steps we need to take to transmute what we just came through. It's kind of like being an Air Force pilot and shedding your mask and your, World War II Air Force pilots shedding your mask, your oxygen mask and your suit and then fucking, talking to your guides, talking to your commanders, talking to your guides and them asking the right questions that elicit more, understanding of why you made certain moves and reconnecting with soul team members who were playing the role of your father, your mother, your brother, your lover, things of that nature, and just and the absolute hard, cold fact is how hard it is for us to forgive ourselves, the regrets we carry. The regrets can be so minute. They can be on the most stupid things, and how hard it is for us to let go, and how we have such a hard time forgiving ourselves. Like we have a very hard time. And that is a samskara that will push us back into 3D because we don't feel worthy. Swear to God, there are people who don't feel worthy of graduating. There are people who don't feel worthy of winning. I can't win. I don't deserve it. There are people who have gone through worse than me. And look, they're still in 3D. And they don't understand. Yeah, they're still in 3D because they have self-hate, shame, and they've never forgiven themselves and others. They're good people, good souls, but they're never going to get out of the shackles of 3D because of what I've just described. So it isn't a contest of who suffered worse. It's not even a contest. It's about self-love and self-acceptance and forgiveness. And the simple question is, if I was alive today to do this again, right? Would I do the same? No, I wouldn't fucking do it. Well, then you learn your lesson, move on. No, I can't move on. I want to go back to 3D and do it again. Why? Why do you want to do that? What do you want to suffer? You want to go back into amnesia? You want to forget everything? You want to fucking corral yourself into another 1,000 incarnation or what? 5 more incarnations? Why? Did you learn the lesson? Yes. Move on. Move on into 5D. You don't have to come back here. Not until this planet's in 5D. You don't have to harm yourself, hurt yourself. Say, well, I never experienced World War II. Maybe I should incarnate into next World War. Why? It's like, why? Didn't you learn enough? And it's weird if you really are honest with yourself how the human mind works in sabotaging itself, pushing itself to think small about itself. It's amazing. It's actually mind-blowing. Really, really mind-blowing. What about swinging? What about swinging? You're asking about sex. What about swinging? Swinging is something that I've never seen as a success for anyone at all. It never works because I've seen polyamorous I've actually studied it because I considered it. I thought maybe it'd be a good idea. And every polyamorous couple that's an influencer that I respect, they all broke up. It doesn't fucking work. Swinging will fuck your... If you're swinging, why? What are you finding there? If you had one or good two male lovers and one female, let's say you're, bisexual, and one good female lover, and they were your lovers. In other words, you guys were all in a committed relationship to each other. That's not swinging, is it? It's a polyamorous relationship. Swinging is taking other people's chakras and siphoning their crappy energy into you. A lot of people that swing are taking shit to swing, and you know what I'm saying? They're taking synthetic. They're taking drugs. Okay, they're taking shit to fucking do it. Let's be honest. A lot of people do that. They get drunk, or they have sex addiction. They have trauma in their root chakra, and you're gonna let that shit land on your root chakra? Are you kidding me? Why? Why would you do that? Oh, because I love it. The pleasure of eating a woman and a man. It's so much fun. Why? Why? Why can't you connect with somebody, one person? And can you be celibate for a year? Why can't you? We ask men to have, control. Why can't a woman have, control? That's why. Because seriously, the polyamorous question is a very good question. Now, are there planets where it's polyamorous? Yeah, but it's their whole fucking entire culture. So no one gives a shit. It's almost like there's no problem. But it's a different type of primitive planet that I've seen on that level. They're primitive. And what I mean by primitive is they have the vibration of old systems, right? Of survival. That's what I mean by primitive. They're not on a higher level of consciousness, of understanding. But when you practice Tantra, and people use that word Tantra all the time, and they don't know what the fuck they're doing. They don't know what Tantra is at all. They don't. They'll say, oh, I'm a Tantrika. And, but they're fucking like, 1,000 men or 1,000 women. That's not Tantra. Tantra is connecting with another soul. And it could be 10 lovers that you have where you've done that. Only 10. But those 10 lovers, you really were able to go through transcendental experiences that were where sensuality and sexuality was used to, levitate your soul's own experience. And it sounds like word salad what I'm saying, to be honest, but what it means is that something is breaching the bodies, the somatic body falls away in your souls, the light of each of your souls explode into a flame. And I actually mean that quite literally. And if you have never experienced that, then you've never had tantric sex. Because a moment, the spark, you've lived, literally your bodies are dissolved and the souls touch. Seconds, but you feel it. And it changed. You can't have fucking pedestrian sex ever again. And to be honest with you, swinging is pedestrian sex. And I have friends. To be honest with you, swinging is pedestrian sex. And I have friends, I should say former acquaintances who are big on the pedestrian sex scene. Swinging, for example. In fact, I know people personally who actually make a living teaching swinging and teaching that lifestyle. And it's not a win. It's not a win. And my job, I didn't do it for, to teach anybody. By the way, I was just curious myself. I think it took me 20 years 15 years. Actually, it's more accurate. On studying polyamory and swinging, and I've never seen it win. Every fucking there were power couples that were happy, teaching sexual health, blah blah blah. I'm trying to remember this chick's name, beautiful girl, And she decided with her husband, who's Indonesian, beautiful man, Eurasian Indonesian, and he was mixed, gorgeous man, gorgeous girl. She was Dutch, I believe. They lived in Bali, and they decided to bring in the unicorn, meaning another woman. It was fine. She was a unicorn. She was never going to try to get him to leave. In other words, it was a neutral point, and she was the third wheel that gave them pleasure. But after that, it set up a precedent where he could never. He was like, he started cheating, and she started cheating, and their relationship, their marriage collapsed. So I've never, ever, ever seen. And I had a relative, I'm not going to go too much into it. He was swinging, and he was with this chick for 6 years. And then one day he decided to take a lover. He was at a hotel on a business, and she kept trying to call. Let's call her Sally. Sally kept calling this relative. He wouldn't answer the phone. She was losing her fucking mind. And you think, well, why? I mean, they were swinging. Every weekend they had a new chick in the bed, because he was doing it without telling her. And it destroyed their relationship. It destroys relationship. You're not aware of it, and one day you realize, oh, fuck, it's over. It hits you like it's like a slam. I've never experienced it because I've never done it. But I know people, and there are people that claim, oh, we've been married 20 years. Okay. What kind of relationship do you have? Is it the kind of relationship I'd want to have? For some people it is. There's another guy who was doing that shit, and I think his woman left him, and so he transferred all that energy to another chick, and maybe they're having their honeymoon period in the last 10 years, and if that's what people like, good. I personally want to have, my compass is driven by the soul bond. And if there's no soul bond, I'm not interested. You know what I mean? At all. At that point, it feels like gymnastics. And I went through that. You know, when you're a young woman, when you're a kid, right? Meaning 18, 19, and you've lost and you're taking a lover, and you're like, that's really some bad sex or pedestrian sex. Oh, what the fuck? I'm here in bed. Let me practice some moves. There's no connection. There's none. And I was never high when I was having sex. So because I was sober, I was fully present. And I know the difference. And as I've told women, when I talk about twins, male, masculine twins that cheat, I go, usually they cheat because they're fucking addicted to something. They're addicted to alcohol or drugs or both. And that will actually make them impulsive and do shit that they would normally not do if they were sober. Typically, that's the truth. So that's the reality of this move. So hopefully it made sense. I don't know how many people are here, but hopefully it made sense. I hope this helps. I certainly thank you for your time and energy. Good night. Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Any more masculines, or have you all left the building? I'm wondering, because I'm curious, and I'll tell you why. Hey, Jennifer. So yeah, I'm going to upload this live. I don't know why I'm not sleeping in the last few. It's the weirdest thing. I think I'm going to go into meditation after this live and some journaling, because I'm really like, I don't know, it's weird. It's a very strong energy. But what I will say to you all is that purify your ability to hear your compass, your heart chakra, and really trust what you want. And really don't try to dissuade you or gaslight yourself or tell yourself it's impossible, that what you want is impossible. It's not realistic. The concept of reality in 3D is actually a laughable concept. It's a collision course of bullshit. Don't get caught up in reality in 3D. It's a joke. And if you can go through that understanding, then you should be able to create a pretty magical life. Anyway, thank you, Jennifer. I'll talk to you. All right, send you all much love on your journey. This will be uploaded on my YouTube. Please follow and comment on my YouTube channel. I really appreciate it. Please share my videos on YouTube. I am doing these videos. Trust me, I'm not being monetized at all. I probably make, just to be blunt, $6 to $13 a month on TikTok. It's not paying my rent, but trust me. So all the stuff I do is free, pretty much. And except for my readings and my hypnotherapies and my Akashic readings, that's what pays my things. But what I'm saying is, when I ask you to share one of my YouTube channel lives, it's not because I'm going to make money. It's so you can help elicit conversations that may be uncomfortable and are necessary or enlightening or exciting, to clarify, to deconstruct, to destroy the jails, these invisible jails that we have been, forced to live in for generations upon generations of our incarnations. So it's really up to you, all right, what you want to do with this information. But thank you so much. Sending you much love on your journey. Namaste. Be well.